So this YouTuber is about to spend the next few years in prison for pulling a dumbass prank. Now he goes by the name Goodnight Chicken, and he's 31, he lives in Taiwan, and his whole thing is he likes to go to abandoned haunted places and hunt ghosts, and he'll live stream the whole thing. And one night in 2020, he's out exploring an old sketchy abandoned hospital. And this is actually a picture of it. Now this hospital is just another dark, creepy place that he's trying to make a video about. And so he's there and he's walking around live streaming, and that is when Chicken starts to smell something pretty awful. And he just keeps going, and eventually, boom, he sees it. A body hanging there. And Chicken is of course freaked out, and so he calls the police. And pretty quickly they come and they check it out. And it turns out that this body he found is the body of a local guy who had been missing for over a year. Like his family had been looking for him and stuff. And so Goodnight Chicken's attempt to make a video in this location actually ends up bringing much needed closure to the guy's family. And soon enough, this story makes the news, and suddenly everyone there in the area is talking about it. And Chicken and his social media starts getting all kinds of attention, and he starts blowing up. And from there, Chicken keeps making these videos, and people keep watching them, and his audience grows bigger and bigger. Over 100,000 followers on YouTube, almost 300,000 followers on Facebook. And so naturally, he's like, oh snap, I gotta keep doing this. And over the next few years, he's going to all kinds of creepy abandoned buildings and all kinds of places to film. And his audience loves it, and they love him. But then, it all goes wrong. Because Goodnight Chicken isn't quite content with how big his audience is. He wants more. And in 2024, he gets an idea. What if he went to one of these abandoned places and he got kidnapped during a live stream? I mean, people would freak out and they would start looking for him. Everyone would be talking about it. His name would be all over the news again. He would get so many new followers. Now, of course, the odds of him actually getting kidnapped aren't very high. So he decides that he's gonna have to fake it. Now, this is actually a pretty big scam, and he can't fake a kidnapping alone, so he hits up this other influencer, this guy, Lu. And I imagine Chicken is like, hey bro, you wanna help me fake my own kidnapping? And Lu is like, alright. And then they decide that the perfect place to do all this is in Cambodia. So Goodnight Chicken gets on his live stream and he tells his audience that he's about to go to Cambodia to explore a dangerous place where foreigners are known to get kidnapped. He's setting up their expectations. Then he and Lu fly from Taiwan down over to Cambodia. And they buy a bunch of props to pull this thing off, like military uniforms, fake pew-pews, fake blood. I mean, they're going all out. Then, later that night, the guys are ready to set this plan in motion. And so Chicken and Lu, they go to this shady place. And there, he goes live and he tells his audience that he broke into the place, which I suppose he actually did. And so he's sneaking around in there, or he's pretending to sneak around. Then he sees someone with a flashlight, someone in a military uniform. And the footage of it kind of sucks, but I do have some screenshots. You can kind of see like a person holding a flashlight back there. Now, this person in military uniform is actually his friend Lu. But Chicken pretends it's a kidnapper, and he runs. And then he pretends to struggle as if he was just caught by the kidnappers, and you can hear him making noises as if he's getting beat up in real time. And then it looks like one of the kidnappers picks up the camera and points it back down at him. And he's just like lying there like he just got knocked out, and you can see his legs there, and then the live stream suddenly just ends. Like, it's so dramatic and ridiculous and obviously fake. But remember, this is live, and he's really popular. So there are 10,000 people watching, and they all think he literally just got caught by some goons and beat up and potentially kidnapped. And so all these people are watching, and they're like, what the f***? Is Goodnight Chicken okay? Did he just like die on live stream? The next day, back in Taiwan, Chicken's wife and some friends post a video on Facebook. And they're all upset, and they're saying that Goodnight Chicken is missing and he needs help. There's his wife there in the middle, and it is unclear to me if she's actually in on this scam too, but I assume she is. One, because they're married, and that would be really messed up to trick your own wife into thinking you're kidnapped. And two, because if you look at the footage of her, she doesn't really look all that upset. She actually kind of looks a little bored. But anyway, then later that same day, Chicken suddenly appears on live again. And this time, he's filming himself running, as if he's running away, as if he's running away from his kidnappers, and was like, oh snap, I better live stream this, and then pulled out his phone and started filming himself. But whatever, he's committed to the bit, I'll give him that. But then he stops and he starts telling his audience that he just escaped.
脖子也被绑住，手也被绑住，然后后来到刚刚有一个人进，跟他们讲柬埔寨语言，我听不懂。
And he says that the kidnappers robbed him and they shaved half his head and then they tased him. And of course, his fans believe it, and they're like, oh my god, I hope you're okay. And then his stream just ends again, leaving everyone on a cliffhanger, leaving everyone wondering again. And if you're like, Ray, influencers do fake pranks all the time, did people really believe that he got kidnapped? Yes! Goodnight Chicken is a popular, high-profile influencer back in Taiwan. People know who he is. Apparently, the governor of the Cambodian province he was allegedly kidnapped in posts all these photos on Facebook asking for help in locating Goodnight Chicken's whereabouts. So, like, the government is now involved. Regardless, his scam worked, and he seems to have everyone fooled, and he's definitely now getting the attention he wanted. Until... Okay, so not everyone believes Chicken's story. Some people are actually skeptical. Specifically, this guy. His name is Lu Yu, but his Twitter handle is, and I'm not making this up, XXXXGay1069. So we'll just call him Gay1069. So Gay1069 sees this live stream footage that's now floating around of Chicken allegedly running from his kidnappers, and he analyzes the hell out of it. He's checking Google Maps, he's looking for landmarks in the background, he's trying to figure out Chicken's location. And that is when he finally solves it. Chicken isn't running around in this shady area of Cambodia. He's actually in a fairly nice area of Cambodia, next to a beach, an area where he could stop and ask anyone for help at any moment if he wanted to. Not only that, by looking at the backgrounds, he notices Chicken isn't running far away. He's actually running in circles. Like he's just kind of running around the same block over and over again. And that is when Gay1069 publicly declares that this guy is full of shit. He hasn't been kidnapped at all. Now at this point, local police are also investigating this because this is somewhat of a high-profile incident and it makes Cambodia look really bad. Like it makes it look like it would be a dangerous place for tourists to visit, and the Cambodian government apparently doesn't want anything scaring tourists away because it's actually a big part of their economy. And so police are investigating this, and they show up to Chicken and Lu's hotel room, and boom, there they find all this evidence. And this is actually a picture of a bunch of the props they were using, and there's masks and military uniforms and all kinds of shit. And so then they somehow find Chicken and Lu, and bam, they arrest them. Here's Chicken's mugshot with the face blurred out, because I guess they do that in Cambodia. And here's Lu's mugshot.
A Taiwanese internet personality has been arrested in Cambodia for allegedly faking an assault during a live stream.
Okay, but here's the thing about Cambodia. Apparently, Cambodia doesn't fuck around. And within 3 days, Chicken and Lu had already been through a whole ass trial and found guilty, and they're both sentenced to 2 years in prison. That is wild.